Welcome to my review of episodes 6 and 7 of the heroic legend of Arslan. You know, for being called the heroic legend of Arslan, these two episodes right here barely featured the main title character. Despite that, I do believe that Arslan is going to have a lot of development over the course of the series. He's going to become a very competent king, and he really is the glue that's going to hold everyone together. And I'm sure that his actions are what is going to cause all of these different stories to eventually converge on one another, and I'm sure it's going to blow our minds. But these two episodes right here were all about war, fire, explosions, catapults, decapitations, stabbings to the face, mass burnings. These were a couple of intense episodes right here, which truly demonstrated what mankind is capable of, and it's pretty freaking horrifying. Horrifying as it may be, it certainly makes for some great anime entertainment. These two episodes were incredibly intense. The first episode was the Lusitanian army just completely destroying Par's kingdom. Just destroying the gates, freeing the slaves, sneaking around in the aqueduct so that they can burn down the castle and rebuild it, all for Lusitania. Not only that, but we also are introduced to the king of Lusitania, who goes by the name of Innocentus. Innocentus the Seventh. He's this one large, rotund fellow who basically gets carried around like Jabba the Hutt all over the place, and he's basically just your typical dumb, blissful king. And he also seems to have the hots for the previous queen, Tahamine, and he seems he wants to marry her. But we actually do get to learn that apparently whoever she's involved with ends up dying, or something really bad ends up happening. Apparently there was an event in the past where King Andragoras and his brother had some sort of conflict because of Tahamine, and he ended up having to kill her, and a lot of people were killed, and it was real secretive and underhanded and messed up. Basically, it's just adding a little bit of political intrigue to the show, and a little bit of mystery to this whole Queen Tahamine character. Aside from that, there's also a few other great scenes, especially the ones that feature Give when he's going around in the aqueducts fighting against the Lusitanian soldiers and Silvermask. Speaking of this guy, this is the most interesting thing. Obviously, he has some sort of ulterior motive. There's a scene where he's walking around the castle, and there's this one mysterious guy hanging out in the shadows who seems to be wearing a mask similar to him. Either it's someone else, or it's like someone in his head that he is speaking to, but he seems to have some sort of plan where he's probably going to end up betraying Lusitania and pretty much all of the major armies for whatever his crazy plan is going to be. He's very similar to Char Aznable from Mobile Suit Gundam. That, and they also just happen to look a lot alike. The second half of the episode is really cool because we get some callbacks to the very first episode of the series, and some brand new characters are introduced. If you guys remember that one slave kid from the very first episode, he returns, and he is a soldier for the Lusitanian army, and he is trying to save all of the slaves. There's this one scene where he's trying to save this one girl who looks like she's about to be attacked by this one Lusitanian soldier, and then you actually get to see that the tables have been turned. This girl is actually Elam, who is in disguise, who's doing a little bit of reconnaissance for Arslan and his team, and they end up having this fight, but it gets distracted by all of these slaves who are demanding to be saved, and it's just really outright disturbing to say the least. I can't wait to learn a little bit more about this character, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen with both him and Arslan when they cross each other's paths yet again. The other standout character of this episode is definitely Ferengis, the priestess. She is this really stoic and sort of just quiet, super confident lady who happens to be really good with a bow and arrow. And for some reason or other, she is looking for Arslan, and she happens to run into Give, who tries to save her from some soldiers, but she doesn't really need any help whatsoever. She just takes all of them out with a bow and arrow, and she almost completely ignores Give, but they end up having some sort of connection. Basically, she's just sort of humoring him, and seeing these two characters interact with each other is great because they're so incredibly different. And Give himself is already turning into the standout character of the series. Both him and Narcissus, and Narcissus is such an incredible strategist. Every single scene that involves him just looking at a map and moving pieces around, you can really see why he's such an honored strategist, and I can't wait to see more of him in action, as well, of course, for Darien and Arslan and everything. But still, these two episodes were really, really good right here for showing us the destruction of the Kingdom of Pars and showing how our, ragtag group of friends are probably going to meet up with each other and try to turn the tables on the Lusitanian army. And maybe, just maybe, they will change the ways of the Pars Kingdom and abolish slavery. This is just going to be a big action anime series, and we're just going to have to wait to see what's going to happen. So what's the rundown? On these two episodes right here of the Heroic Legend of Arslan, I really liked these a lot. They were very atmospheric and very chilling, especially the first episode. In fact, my favorite scene was when it finally went to night and all you could see were just these random lights in the distance, and then suddenly they fired at the screen, and that's when you realize that these arrows are firing into the kingdom, people are climbing over the walls. It's really intense. Not only that, but they have the decapitated heads of all of the generals from the Pars Kingdom just out for everyone to see, just to demoralize the other army. It's really freaking messed up. And this isn't like a big, bloody series. There's a lot of censorship, but it's still pretty freaking intense. There's just a lot of scenes here that are going to make those who are squeamish like turn their heads just a little bit. Despite that, it's a very unapologetic and realistic take on war, which I think is really intense. On the animation side and like the technical side of things, the series really isn't anything that special. There's a few scenes like, you know, when they have like sword battles, like that one where Geeve was fighting against Silver Mask, that looked really good. But for the most part, it's just okay. You know, there was one scene that I actually liked, I was really surprised with, because I hate the big CGI armies, but the scene when you actually get to see the Lusitanian army just like pouring into Pars Kingdom from the front gate and just enveloping everyone, I thought that was really, really good. As it stands, my favorite character of the series is Silver Mask, but only because I'm intrigued about what his real identity is and what his real plan is going to be, and how he seems to be playing everybody from the inside of the Lusitanian army. I also really like the fact that we're getting to learn about the enemies just a little bit more, like the Lusitanians. They seem to have a little bit more of a voice and more of a character in this episode, aside from the fact that they're just fanatic religious zealots. Other than that, I'm really intrigued to see how this is all going to go on. The fact that the series is called The Heroic Legend of Arslan lets me know that Arslan is probably going to end up saving the day, but will he survive this battle? Will he be able to change the history of the Kingdom of Pars and bring all of these medieval kingdoms together? We're just going to have to wait and find out and watch more of this epic anime war series. So I'm going to give these two episodes each a 4 out of 5. I liked both of them. I thought they were really good. And this is a series that's really good to watch with like 2 episodes at a time because you get a lot of information. That's what I got from watching these two. I really wish they were a little bit longer because when you watch them back to back, it almost has this like OVA movie quality to it. And I think that's pretty cool, despite the fact that the animation and the artwork really isn't all that special. Still, this show's really good. It's really awesome. The intro is slowly starting to grow on me a little bit more. I didn't care for it that much at first, but the more I listen to it and the more I see the imagery, I just get more excited watching it. So check it out, Arslan fans. These 2 episodes are really good. 4 out of 5 for me. So I like this episode, but what about you guys? Did you watch these 2 episodes of The Heroic Legend of Arslan? Do you have a brand new favorite character with the introduction of Ferengis? Do you like Geeve? Maybe Arslan? Maybe Darian or Narcissus? Please tell me in the comments section below and tell me what you hope to see from the rest of The Heroic Legend of Arslan. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it and share it with all of your friends. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.